biohacking, performance, mastery, mindset. This is a show about getting better every single day. The Hack Life with Joel Levin. Welcome to the show. Yes, let's get into it. I got a great episode today, guys. This is one of my great friends, Angel Orozco from Telegraph Crossfit in San Francisco. This guy has been in the CrossFit games. He has been in the CrossFit game for, over 13 years. He's been doing CrossFit, so pretty much since the beginning. So he knows the ins and outs. He started at San Francisco Crossfit, which is the head coach there is Kelly Starrett. Kelly's known for pretty much all over the CrossFit world for introducing mobility and really bringing some awareness and attention to mobility in athletes and what the lack of mobility can do to an athlete. And so Angel started over there as one of their head coaches. So he has tremendous just depth and knowledge when it comes to fitness, mobility, body work, body mechanics. I found him just fascinating and just a wealth of knowledge when I first met him almost, 8 years ago, when I first started my journey into CrossFit. And Angel is just super eclectic, just approaches everyone as an individual, which I really liked, right? He's not the kind of CrossFit bro who's like, bro, you got to do CrossFit and I do this WOD and it has to be 21 reps, 13. No, he doesn't do that. He really will individualize things for you. So he totally gets it that, not everyone can come into the CrossFit gym and just get smoked. That's part of CrossFit. That can be, part of what you do when you go in there. But he really focuses on mechanics when you come in. And then he works on consistency. And then that last piece, intensity, you can start to delve into. So Angel really has a good grasp of that. And he's got so much great perspective. We talk a lot about just biomechanics. We talk about how he recovered through some knee surgeries and some of the things that he did to do that. And a lot of what we got into too was, raising kids and how to raise healthy young people. And I think you're going to find that super valuable when we get there. So guys, I'm not going to waste any more time. Check out the show. It's full of good stuff. Welcome my guest, Angel Orozco. Peace. Welcome to the show. We were talking beforehand, and I was telling you why I wanted you on the podcast, because my goal is to seek out pretty much the best in the business in health, fitness, wellness, nutrition. And I've known you for several years, man. We go back, and I think you're an expert when it comes to fitness. And one of the cool things is, before preparing for this interview, I was checking out your background on your website, just your bio. And I think it said you'd been doing CrossFit since 2006.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's correct.
And so I just think of you being like an OG in the CrossFit game. Like, you've been doing it from the beginning, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It started in 2004. So I think I'm considered like between the first gen, or not really even the first gen, but like second generation CrossFitters. I don't even know if it's like considered generations of CrossFitters, but there's a lot of people that started CrossFit before me. San Francisco Crossfit, when I started there, I think they were number 50 or number 100, and they were already like a year and a half in.
And they were from, and by the way, I didn't even introduce you. I'm so excited. I'm with Angel Orozco. You are the head coach for Telegraph Crossfit in San Francisco.
Yep.
Right. And then you also have a sister gym, City CrossFit, which is in the Mission District, and that gym's flourishing as well.
Yep.
And
so my brother runs that one.
Sean Pacer. Yeah. So, going back, I remember when CrossFit first started. In the beginning, it was just kind of crazy, right? It almost felt like there was no system in place. It was just kind of like a lot of high rep this, do this, and there was no real systemization.
Yeah. What I think CrossFit originally started off as was with an intention of building something greater than what was the global gym, right? That's where I started off at. I started off at 24 Hour Fitness when I was like 24, so it was at 2004, and yeah, nobody likes me. I made a medicine ball out of sand and a basketball, and it leaked like once a week, and people are always complaining. I get written up. So
What do you mean you got written up?
you can't plug your iPod into an iPod.
Wow.
You can't plug your iPod into the speaker system.
But you were a coach at 24 Hour Fitness.
I was a trainer.
Trainer.
Trainer at 24 Hour Fitness, and nobody wanted to find that their barrier. Nobody wanted to break through that, and everybody just felt comfortable on the treadmill, on the sets and reps, and taking breaks and whatnot. So
Nobody wanted to evolve.
Nobody. Yeah. I mean,
Change is hard. I noticed that in everybody's discipline.
The thing is there are people that want to change, and those people are athletes, sport athletes. So football players, soccer players, whatever, baseball players, whatever. And if they went into the gym, those are the guys that were like, stay away from that guy because he's an athlete.
Yeah.
Right? And CrossFit is trying to create everybody as an athlete. Right? Like my grandfather, he's 80 years old and he does CrossFit. And he trains here twice a week. So, people always laugh. It's like, oh man, well, your grandfather's super fit. It's like, no, he's not super fit. He hurts himself all the time. He eats noodles every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and he's just here learning how to move. He's here being aware of his body. He's here knowing that he's old, he needs to stretch, he needs to be active, he doesn't work anymore, he's retired. So that's what CrossFit originally wanted to do, I think. And, I know that that's what they wanted to do. They want to have everybody be an athlete. So that's pretty cool to think that, right? Even my grandmother right now, she doesn't really work out, but I see her as an athlete. As if she does come in here, she's like doing her little thing.
Like Tai Chi or something?
Yeah,
I remember, I've
yeah.
seen your grandmother. Yeah. Doesn't she come in here usually like boss you around or something?
She lecture me.
Yeah.
Lecture me. Yeah, it's great because I need it.
Yes.
3 kids later, 39, still get lectures.
Of course.
Yep.
So you said a couple of things I want to unpack. One thing you talked about was athletes. You see athletes coming into the gym, and these are these are the guys that are changing the game because they want to get to the highest level of performance, and so they'll do anything. They'll do whatever it takes. So just out of curiosity, and I don't know the answer, that's why I want to ask, are athletes, sports nutrition, sports medicine, sports athleticism has changed over the years. Are they do you see a lot of athletes using CrossFit? Albeit football players, basketball players. Is that common?
CrossFit is, I would say no.
Okay.
I would say their athletic trainer, who is insured, who is overseen by the front office,
Yes.
right? They have to make protocols so that it goes through the chain to be allowed to do. So I don't think CrossFit no, people aren't doing that high level athleticism. They're not doing CrossFit.
Right.
Where it's like buying 100 dumbbell snatches, then 100 pull-ups, 100 thrusters, and then 100 calories. They're not doing that.
Right. Why though? Why? Because CrossFit claims to be like, this is the fittest man or the fittest woman on earth.
Yes.
So why would they not? Is it just because like they need to be doing also sport specific things?
Yes,
or
exactly.
The other thing I'm thinking is like I'm a big into mixed martial arts, and I know I would do CrossFit stuff as I would box and stuff, but at the same time, like I can't torch my biceps on some kind of 100 rep thing and then go box. Like my arms are jello.
Exactly.
I don't know. Is that the reason?
No. The thing is it needs to be conducive of what their sport is, right? If you want to say CrossFit is constantly varied functional movements executed at high intensity, then all athletes do that. All athletes do CrossFit. My grandfather does CrossFit.
Right. Okay.
Right? Like if you just label it just that. But I think CrossFit now, it's not seen as that. CrossFit's seen as like the box. CrossFit's seen as that workout, right?
100%.
Don't get hurt. Go to CrossFit. Don't get hurt.
Right.
That's what CrossFit's seen at. So it sucks because you don't. I want to say people do CrossFit. I want to say CrossFit's the way, but man, there's just so many haters out there. They're gonna fucking hate on me, So I kind of have to be PC about it.
Don't be PC on this podcast.
Yeah.
Don't be PC.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want to break the rules here.
Yeah. Then you know what? I think that
because something you said earlier too, I think was cool, is you said, which I didn't even think about, is you said, dude, CrossFit is just movement.
Yeah.
And like that right there, I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Like, you're really just changing the paradigm on movement. But once you start, of course, like once you start labeling things and like you said, CrossFit's the box, CrossFit's 100 reps, then people are going to be pissed off and say, no, you shouldn't do CrossFit, or no, I don't want to fit into this category. I'm not CrossFit, or you're CrossFit, right?
Yeah.
But I think you follow Ido Portal,
No.
the movement guy, but you know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't. Okay, so Ido Portal's, it's funny that you said CrossFit is movement. So Ido Portal is all about movement, and you see him doing a lot of, he has like a martial arts background, like almost like probably wushu or and gymnastics. And he teaches seminars like $1,000 probably just on how to move and all this movement, and movement is key. But he wouldn't be doing CrossFit. He's almost big on just mobility and expressing the body through movement, kind of like MoveNat, that whole modality. But he would say the same thing, that movement is the key. And that was something that you said is, just dude, CrossFit's just movement. So can you expand on that?
Yeah. So there are exercises within CrossFit that are their base movements. And how do I explain this? People have to be able to pull, push, squat, whatever the movements are. And whether it's loaded, not loaded, the parameter on it is be able to do the best you can with the with the bare minimum. So if it's a squat, then squat to the best of your ability. But if it's an overhead squat, that's just a progression. And if you have the mobility, if you have the stability, if you have the coordination, then go ahead and do this exercise because it's just way more difficult.
Yeah.
So that's where the movement is allowing people to progress in its base exercises. Push-up, for example, a handstand push-up. Like, I don't even like doing handstand push-ups. It just hurts my shoulders. I feel like I overload my traps. I hate doing push-ups, but I love benching, right? Benching is a pushing exercise, right? You're not prone, you're supine. I mean, there's just so many ways to look at movement. It's just move. Yeah.
I remember when I was training with you, I trained with you for about a year. And I remember that was one of the things that attracted me to your training too, is that you kind of, like you said, the whole labeling of CrossFit. And I remember at one time, I had some knee issues, and you kind of customized some workouts for me. And you were like, yeah, man, you don't need to do all this stuff. Like, just because the WOD of the day says this doesn't mean it's right for you.
Yeah.
And I thought that was cool. You didn't get into this like, dude, that's the water of the day. You have to do this. And
Yeah.
no, you're like, no, let's program this around for like what you just said. Like, I bench better than I push up.
evolved.
Yes.
Right.
But you weren't that way in the beginning then. Were you,
Nah, man,
if I were to come into you in the beginning and I was saying.
If you didn't do it, I would have called you a bitch.
You thought I was weak. You
I
thought
was no, you were a bitch.
Yeah. You're a punk. You're a punk.
Like,
you're just not strong enough. You don't have the mental fortitude to just do this.
You have this knee issue that you're not taking care of because, I don't know, you're fucking sitting all day.
Yeah.
It could have just been that simple. I would have just made some shit up so I can make myself feel better about pushing you to see what your limits are, right? Then that's the problem with CrossFit, right? Is you have newbie coaches, you have, not that I was not experienced, I was experienced, but I wasn't experienced with diverse individuals and injured individuals more so. That would probably be where I feel that's where I am now. Is if anybody comes through the door with whatever injury it is, I feel like I can train them. Unless it's like something inside, like heart problems. But anything like structural.
You're not talking, when you say heart, you're not talking about like courage or like fortitude.
No,
you're talking about like actual
I'm talking
heart, physical
about
heart.
like I had a guy come here. He was like, yo, I had a heart attack. I had a stroke 2 weeks ago. I was like,
you should just
go get a doctor's note.
Yeah.
I don't want to kill you. You know, do I have an AED in here? You know?
you should you should just walk around the block.
Yeah,
before
exactly.
And that's movement, right?
But
like,
fuck yeah, dude.
That's what you should be doing.
Like, hey, the other day we had a workout. It was crazy. 50 squats, a mile run. 50 pull-ups, a mile run. 50 burpees, a mile run. 50 push-ups, a mile run. I think that's all.
How long did that take?
It took me like 60 minutes. But like if I had that guy do it, like I would just have him walk around the block and it would take him 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? But cool, check. That's your workout. So, I mean, yeah, people could still do CrossFit even at that, quote unquote, injured lifestyle or life. But that guy's moving.
Yeah.
Right? He's walking. So that's all I care about.
And I'm sure for him, like he realized he had the heart attack and it triggered like, holy shit, I had no awareness of how I'm trashing my body with food and lifestyle, whatever. And so I'm sure for him it was, I need to make a drastic change. I know CrossFit's the answer. So he comes in and talks to you and then he probably gets the realization, dude, you need to just do some basic things first.
Yeah.
Then you can come see me.
Then, yeah.
I'm not your guy right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you know what? Even just when I walked in, we're talking about balance and how you've grown and just balance. Even on your board right here, you have written down mechanics, consistency, and then intensity.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, even that, can you kind of expand on that? To me, that just says everything that kind of what we're talking about is that there's foundation. There's levels to this.
Yep. Yeah. So, the concept of mechanics is individualized, and I think that's where our gym really does well. And
why? And what do you mean by like, unpack mechanics? Like, what does that mean? Biomechanics, the way people walk.
Biomechanics.
Yeah.
Biomechanics. Yeah. Again, we're a bougie ass gym, right? We if we don't want someone in here, we're gonna just tell them this is not the right place for you, right? And if the
24-hour fitness has plenty of spots for you.
Yeah. SF Fitness is right down the way.
Where you were at the other day, by the way, I saw you.
Yeah, I know. That was actually kind of funny.
Anyways.
You know what was really funny on that? So many people thought that I was gonna work there.
I thought you were.
Like,
I saw your story and I'm like, what is he doing? Oh my God, is he working there?
Yeah,
and then luckily I kept watching the story. I'm like, oh, phew. He's just coaching people at a competition.
People that has known me for a long time were like, wait, what? You're gonna be working at SF Fitness? And I was like, fuck, dude, that's kind of crazy. Boop.
Family just walked in.
Yeah, look at that guy. That's the man. Anyways, mechanics. So let me think about this here for a quick second. So when someone comes in here, the first thing that they do is they're just kind of like looking to talk to somebody, right? So they always just stay around here. So what I always want to do is I just want to kind of like show them, hey, you know what? This is what we have here, news and updates, so they can understand that it's part of our community. We have a community one, and that's what a lot of people want. They want to feel like, I think that's why they don't go to the gym, is because they're just benching by themselves or whatever, right? So I want them to feel like there's a community, so we have that news and updates. And then next, what I want them to know is even though it is a group environment, because that's the unfortunate thing about, quote unquote CrossFit, is it's a group fitness class, right? So what happens in that group fitness class is that individual training can go away, but we don't look at it that way. We look at it as the coach has an hour to spend coaching each person based off of whatever exercise is programmed. And now, so the way we program things here is we always have a warm up, and we don't want to, it's a generalized warm up. So it's not a specific warm up. But when people come here, we tell them, hey, you know what? How are you feeling? Oh, I'm really tight. Okay. Hey, these are the top 2 exercises that you should do if your hips are tight. These are the top 3 exercises if your neck is tight, or whatever the case is. So then if they're doing something and they look like they're just fucking laying on the ground, just, doing nothing, then we just go up to them, right? So the mechanics on that is in the warm-up, we're not really focused on that as so much, but more so during the workout, it's a specific exercise, right? So we teach the movement, and if they are not doing the movement properly, then we just go and help them individually. So then after the mechanics is the consistency. So the hardest thing that I had to do here at the gym is create a membership that was a 3-day-a-week membership. For the longest time, I did not want to do that.
Why?
Because I want people to be like committed, right? And 3 times a week is not committed.
But don't you think, for example, I was joking around with you prior, and how my life is just so busy because I have 2 kids, and then you're like, dude, I have 3 kids, so you beat me. But I talked about like just, hey, I have, maybe my time is limited for one. And then even going back to the guy that came into you with the heart condition, like he probably shouldn't be in here. We need to just kind of ease him in.
Yeah.
So,
So then exactly. The realization is my kids were growing up. I had a lot more responsibility outside of the gym. And then, someone that works out twice a day, 4 times a week minimum, right?
That was your life for years and years.
If not 7 days,
7 days,
right?
yeah.
I would work out every single day, and my recovery was sleep or whatever between workouts.
Yeah.
So those days just kept getting shorter, non-existent, to the point where I was only maybe working out like 1 time a week.
Yeah.
Right? And if I could just get on like a bike for like 20 minutes. So then I realized that the consistency is something that the people that want, their intention is to do good, but they just can't always come here.
Yeah.
That I just want them to be consistent in coming. And if they're consistent
in coming. What their
coming,
definition is of consistency, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so even though it says consistency, not necessarily consistency of movement, but consistency of just being here. Because if you're here, you're moving.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And then intensity. Shit, come an extra day. All right? Load the bar up. Go a little harder. So it's very general. It's not only about movement. It's more of kind of like, I always say that like it's my holistic approach of CrossFit. Right? But yeah. That's why we have that there, and we try to explain this to people that come here, because we're not just another trainer, right? We actually really do care about people that come through, and that's hard for people to accept. Like, people are so used to having a job where your boss hates you, right? Like your job,
Yeah.
fucking hella people hate you.
That not just my people that I work with, but actually people in the universe, in the world, that
People
interact
that
with.
you help out
Yeah.
hate you.
Right, yeah. That's a tough pill to
fuck?
swallow. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I mean, the same thing here is,
Yeah.
luckily I could say a lot of things that you can't say. I guess maybe, I don't know.
Yes, you can. You can. You can say yes.
Right.
I don't have a First Amendment right now.
Yeah.
One day I will, but not right now.
Yeah. Like that's what we want to express to people is our intention of why we have rent.
Yeah, and I think the cool thing goes back to just your evolution, and I think anybody coming in the door, CrossFit can be intimidating, right? And so just seeing like, oh, okay, we're going to start with mechanics and a foundation. It's not all. And I remember when I first started, like, I wanted to just jump right in because I was kind of hard gainer mentality. That was just my mentality. Go hard, go home, like you.
Yep.
And you were like, no, dude, you have to actually, I need to see you move.
Yep.
Like, I think 3 times or something. We had to like do 3 privates.
Yep.
And you had me going through just a set of exercises and loads, and you just kind of seeing my body move, et cetera, before you were like, now you can get into the class. And even then it was slow to start for me, but you wanted to see me move. That was the big thing. So
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I can. It's called the fundamentals course, right? That we have, and it's 3 sessions, hour with one of our coaches, and we have our baseline exercises that we want to instruct. And I would say probably 90% of the people that come here actually can do it, right? The movements, but is the movement done properly?
Yeah,
that's key. And no, like 90% of the people don't ever do the movements properly. So that's why we have that. And if there is that 10%, like, I had some guy was like, hey man, if you can do a muscle up, I'm just gonna like let you pass the fundamentals. Does a muscle up. I'm like, all right, I got to keep my word. Then doesn't even know how to squat.
Yes.
Like, fuck. Whoops. Right?
Yeah.
So just because you can do something, just because because you're lighter or you've done it before or whatever, doesn't mean you can move on other things.
Yeah.
And so there are other exercises, and one of the basic exercises I have people do right when they get here is a push-up. Because people are like, oh yeah, I could do push-ups. I'm like, all right, well, let's just do 5 push-ups, 10 push-ups, whatever. And all of a sudden you just see how they're just like, looking like a
So for example, push-ups. So what are people doing wrong? To me, that seems basic.
Oh, the elbow flares out.
We've been doing push-ups in PE for
their back,
thousands of years.
Their back is hyperextended, right? Their knees are caving in.
So just off the push-up, you can see like mechanical faults.
Just so many things. So many highlights of what their issue is. Yeah. And I mean, it's not like the first rep or 2. You have to kind of like get them warmed up, allow them to give you, good data.
Yeah.
If you just have them warm, hey, Kay,
because I could do 5 good ones for you.
Yeah,
and then after
exactly.
A while, you'll see
but I
me
mean,
start
I'm going to
to
have you, jog. I'm going to watch how you jog for a quick second. I'm going to have you stretch out on your own, see where your head is at. So, I mean, there's a few key trainer things that we do so that we can assess the individual and then allow for proper starting point.
Yeah.
And then that proper starting point is then, is then provided throughout that 3 days.
When people will come in to you, what do you think, just 1 or 2, or like the most common biomechanical faults that you see when they come in? Is it like
their
the
knees come in? I would say
posture?
their knees, they're like their arc, the foot of their foot drops in, the arc drops, the knee turns in.
Like when they're squatting, they call it
no, just like walking.
Valgus. Really?
Just walking, just like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, or the toes will turn out.
Okay, I see that a lot. What do they call that? The duck walk or the pigeon walk?
No, their piriformis is tight. Like even, you just look around here. Everyone's
You're trying to find an example in the gym here.
I cannot right now. But anybody that turns,
come over here and walk
anybody that just turns a toe out like that, just like that.
Ah, that's so interesting.
Yeah,
just in the feet.
duck walk.
The duck walk.
I call
yes.
it the duck walk. Right, and their knees are pointed straight though. I can't do it.
Yeah,
it's so hard to do it. can't do that.
What about and like you said, posture? I know that's a big problem for me. Just that like
I start from the
rounded
ground up. I
posture.
start from the ground up. That's number one. I just see like
Yeah, the feet splayed out or whatever.
yeah.
Jump walk. Yeah.
And posture. Everyone has bad posture.
Yeah.
Everybody's shoulders are forward. Everybody's pecs are tight. Everybody's rhomboids are weak. Lats are lengthened. All right, weak.
The lats are lengthened. You said.
Yeah, they're just pulled out that way. Yeah, I would say like that's
like 90%.
That's
people
like
that come in.
99.9%. Yeah.
Wow.
Then you get like the athlete that comes in that can do the muscle up, and they're probably like an ex-football player or something like that.
Yep.
And they can't even overhead squat a 35-pound bar because their pecs are so tight because they used to bench press 315 for like 30 reps or something like that. You know.
Yeah.
And so then they have shoulder issues, which then leads to neck issues. And when they deadlift, they round their back. So it's just like boom, 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 boom.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And
it's
like
it's not just the out of shape tech person that comes in. It could definitely sometimes be that ex-football player that has an issue. Yeah. So that's why we have that fundamentals for everybody. And if if they can overhead squat a bar, or if they can do like 90% of the stuff, 99%, 80%, whatever it is, and I feel confident knowing that one, they know that it's all about making sure that your movement is done properly, right? Because you can get someone that doesn't know anything that you're going to be like, no, dude, you cannot just go fucking ham. You got to chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Or then you have the athlete that's like, hey, I don't want to go ham. I know I've gone through that. I want to be able to know how to have proper mechanics so that I can have a longer life of fitness. Then, that's the person that we want in this gym. So we also use that concept right there to screen people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Talk to me about injuries and injury rehab. I know you had 2 ACL surgeries?
Yeah, no, one.
Just
so
one.
ACL, MCL, meniscus,
Jesus.
and one surgery.
That was all one surgery.
Yeah, I think so. I went skiing, and that's when I really hurt it. But then when I was like crying, mommy. That's when I land. That's like no impact, land off of rebound, right? Playing basketball. Like that's how that happens. Yeah.
So it wasn't a CrossFit because everyone likes to talk shit about CrossFit and that's the reason people get injured.
Nobody
and blah, blah,
fucking
blah.
gets injured doing
It wasn't
CrossFit.
A CrossFit thing.
People get injured doing multiple things wrong. And
then
maybe
CrossFit exposes it, right?
And CrossFit exposes it, and then the trainer that sees it, that is not making sure that their mechanics is in line, allows that, then that's how the injuries happen. So it's not the person, it's the lack of the person, if anything, right? It's the lack of the attention to detail. That's how the injuries occur. And then I actually just had a meniscus tear doing not jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu. I don't even know what it is.
I don't know. It's something where we put a gi on, I touch other men, and just roll around.
Yeah, well, I didn't have the gi. So what is it? No gi jiu-jitsu? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Are you still doing that?
No, man. That's
that was it.
That was it.
Okay.
Like I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to roll around and see how I like it. I was kind of digging it, but then I literally remember that day where I just like, dude, my knee's fucked. And I then put on a knee sleeve.
Yeah.
And then it kind of was like, getting better. But basically, the knee sleeve was just going over the mat, so I wasn't torquing through my knee. I think that's really, I did a lot of damage. It was pretty fucked up in there, too. So, those are my injuries.
What did recovery look like for you then, recovering off the ACL or the CL or the MCL?
So
like, how did you tackle that?
That first...
And with your knowledge in CrossFit and just fitness overall, were you able to come back faster, or do you think?
Yeah.
Or?
So my old boss, Kelly.
Yeah.
Right?
Kelly Starrett. We're talking about K-Star.
Yeah, K-Star. He helped me get back to working order by giving me this like tens unit.
Yeah.
So I had that sucker
was
on.
that the Mark Pro?
No, this one was like
pre-Mark Pro.
like it was like a suitcase.
Oh wow.
And so I had that tens unit. Used that. 8 clean. So just trying to stay away from gluten. That's hard.
Yeah,
But,
I love me some sourdough bread.
Yeah, and I just moved.
Yeah.
Like whatever I could do, whatever the doctor said. That's what he was like. Hey man, just listen to the doctor. Whatever says is okay. Just listen. But if he doesn't say you can't do it, then let's go push that fucking envelope.
Yeah.
Right? So I mean, I was rowing off of a single leg with my one leg on a skateboard. I was okay. There was a time where I couldn't walk on it, put any load, so I didn't put any load on.
Yeah.
It. Like that's like really important not to do that. But
You're not
once I
telling
was
people
able
go
to
out right
put
away,
load,
like, yeah.
I was like, walk without a limp. Like you're just gonna naturally want to just limp. So that was like my workout. I would just walk like from here to there, trying not to limp. My recovery on that, oh God, I don't even remember how fast that was. But
was it faster though than like the average? I mean, everyone's different. I understand, but do you think it was your recovery went a lot faster than the normal? Because I feel like most doctors, their prescription is not to move, and they tell you just stay still.
Yeah.
Don't. They really baby you. And I mean, now I've seen it getting a little bit better with the PT people getting you to move more.
Yeah.
But in general, I just feel like there's a lot of just they don't want you. They're very cautious.
Yeah, I mean it's
Which
good.
I think they have to be.
I think it's extremely important for the doctors to have their patients be cautious because they don't exercise.
Yeah.
If you have someone like me that
They're serving the lowest common denominator.
Yeah, I mean like I went into the doctor and I was like, hey, I'm a trainer. I think that the PT stuff that is going to be given to me isn't going to really be beneficial. And by the way, I didn't do any PT. I went to one PT session, and I was like, this is fucking
But your
ridiculous.
whole life is fitness.
I was like, this is
moving
ridiculous.
around.
Like, I'm not going to do this shit. Well, Kelly also said, like, hey, do some of these things. And so I've been doing those things from the get, right? So you go to a PT, and it's kind of just repetitive stuff. You just got to pay your copay, which is ridiculous.
Yep.
So, yeah, my recovery, it seemed like I recovered quicker just because I was so active.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember I saw Kelly Starrett say something. I think his daughter or something broke her arm or something. And he, brought her to the hospital or whatever. And of course they put a cast or something on her. And he listened to her. He did a video on this and he listened to her and the doctor who said, yeah, make sure you do this, this, and this. And then I guess he had told the doctor afterwards, he's like, hey, FYI, like I don't know what his title is, PT, or what his actual Kelly Starrett. I don't know what his title is.
Yeah, I think there's a doctor. It's doctor physical therapy. Yeah.
So he said he told the doctor, he's like, hey, just so you know, this is what I do. He's like, I'm gonna do some like soft tissue mobilization and have her move. And I think the doctor kind of gave him like a look like, okay, like he wasn't gonna say that, and maybe nor could he. But it was just interesting, and just the idea, like we're talking about movement, and the body needs to move. That's huge.
Yeah,
and
definitely, the thing is the doctors need to be safe, and if you're gonna have someone like Kelly that, has this go get after it mentality, don't stick to the status quo. Let's try to push the envelope. Then yeah, man, let's go ahead and do something. If it's not going to injure someone, if it's not going to hold someone back, let's just give it a try, right?
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, he loves his daughter. He loves his daughters.
Yeah.
Right. I love my boys. Like I would do whatever I could if the doctor said, hey, you know what? Don't do that because of this. Well, what is that? right? It has to be something so severe that then I'm going to be like, all right, I'm going to back off. But if it's something that the doctor's like, hey, I don't really know, or hey, you know what? Just keeps his mouth quiet, then yeah, just go ahead and do that.
I want to get into just some, I think, general questions I want to ask you because you have such a great fitness, just background and just everything from fitness and nutrition, everything. So I want to ask you, what do you think is like the biggest hurdle getting in the way from people getting in shape? You've been in the game for in fitness longer, but in CrossFit, 13 plus years. So you've seen a lot of people walk through your doors. What do you think it is? You've had got a lot of data to look at people. What's the biggest, you think, hurdle getting in their people's way from being in shape?
I mean, man, there's the excuses. It's all it is, man. It's simple. People want to just make so many excuses of why they can't do something, and it has nothing to do with fitness. It's a mindset. Like, if you want to make change for your life, you do it.
Yeah.
It's that fucking simple.
Yeah.
It's tough because that's not the way we sell memberships.
Right.
So
it reminds me of Jocko Willink, the Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
So I think people always ask him Jocko, I want to get better at pull-ups, and he's like, good, go do pull-ups.
Yeah.
Like, if you want that,
Yeah.
go do that. Why are you asking me how to do?
I read this book to my boys, and it's by him.
Way of the Warrior Kid?
Yeah.
Nice.
Exactly. And my brother actually got it for Kai, my oldest.
How old's Kai?
Kai just turned 9.
Okay, because
just turned 9 last week.
I got that book for my son, Roque, and he'll be 6 in January.
Yeah.
A little over his head, I think, right now for him. So I was just curious, was Kai pretty receptive to it?
You know what? Just reading to them is good.
Yeah.
So you can just keep reading the book over and over and over.
That was what I was thinking,
I think
too.
I've read chapter 3 to 5 4 times.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And you just keep reading it to them, and it got to the point that my boys just wanted to start. I mean, they grew up in the gym, right?
Yeah.
But my boys now want to actually work out. So
real quick on that, do you, Angel Orozco, the fitness guy, do you push them to do that, or because I know kids, and I like my son, I'm trying to push him to do jiu-jitsu, he rejects it.
Yeah.
So how do you gain compliance with
perfect.
kids?
I love that question because I love these kids. So.
And by the way, I watch your stories, and you do, I think, an amazing job with them. It's so cool watching them. You'll put the rep scheme they're doing. It's 3 rounds at 30 block. And I'm like, that is so cool. And anyway, sorry.
Yeah. No. So I just tell them that they need to exercise, whatever it is. And so we have a garage gym. We have a pull-up bar downstairs, and they can do whatever they want. If they watch TV, if it's a 20-minute show, 30-minute show, before they do that, they need to do at least 5 push-ups, 10 lunges, 5 sit-ups, just one time, so it's nothing. So it's just creating habit. It's just creating consistency of movement, and it doesn't matter what the intensity is. The other day, I actually had Austin, my middle guy. I made him throw up.
He got wrapped up.
He got wrapped up. He's blinking. Yeah. That was... Whoops, you know?
Yeah.
And, but he wasn't able to do a pull-up. Austin was not able to do a pull-up. Kai, the older brother, made fun of him. And I said
Austin's
to Kai,
how old?
Austin is 8. Or he's turning 8. So
okay.
they're 7.
So a 2-year difference.
He'll be 8 in a few weeks. And I just told Austin, I was like, hey, you remember the warrior boy? The warrior kid?
Yeah.
Right? Remember how his uncle always had him just... told him to just exercise, right? Or told him to do the pull-up. Yeah. And so why don't you just go do that? And literally now, Austin can crank out 7 strict pull-ups. And he's 7 years old. He just won the 2nd grade PE contest for the year. And that Austin had part of his lung removed when he was 3.
That's right.
So
I remember that.
he's not able to have like this endurance, or I think that's why I forget sometimes, because Kai is just like this fucking crazy ass kid. You have him run around the block like 10 times and he still wants to go around. So movement. Again, it just goes back to the movement. It's consistency. I have the boys train minimum 2 times a week downstairs in the garage.
How do you do that though? How do you gain compliance with them? Are you setting the example do you model the example and then they follow you? Or how is
funny?
that?
Yeah, no, funny about that. I coach them, so I don't let them just do whatever. I say, hey guys, we're gonna go downstairs and I'm gonna help teach you guys some things. Okay, so like any parent, right? They want to teach whatever it is that within the parenting values, and just one of my parenting values is taking care of your body and proper mechanics of the deadlift. Dude, Austin deadlifted like 95 pounds the other day.
Jesus.
Like.
And he weighs what?
He's like, I don't know. I have no
70?
idea, actually.
Maybe less than
I don't
that?
even know how much he weighs.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, he's not that big of a kid. But, a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old kid. So they know that I care about them exercising. They want to learn how to play the drums or the trumpet. So my dad teaches them music once a week. So every time, and it's nice because they go to school at 9:30. And so I have this like 45-minute window where I can either have them do music or fitness. And so I don't push them. I tell them, hey, like this is extremely important, and they know I care. And so they see that. Plus it's here. They see Uncle Tony, my Sushu, my brother, Mom, exercise. So they want to do it.
It's the lifestyle.
Yeah, lifestyle.
Yeah.
And if they don't want to do it, then I just say, okay, well, go do something else. Like sometimes I have
something else that expresses movement, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So ride the bike. Go ride the bike around the block a bunch of times. So sometimes it's just that, and I don't get upset about like him. Sometimes Austin really doesn't want to work out. Like I do like. Okay, kettlebell swing, box jumps, burpees. I'm like, fuck that, right?
Yes, because I just had that happen to my son. He wants to run and work out. I go, cool, let's go do a workout. I show him some stuff. I had him do something simple, but he got tired fast. And he goes, I'm not doing your stupid work. Like he liked that for like the first round, and I'm like, I did it 2 more times, 3 rounds. He's like,
no,
I'm good.
That's why.
Like I'll just run up the hill, but I'm not doing your other stuff.
One time, it's gonna turn into 2 times. It's gonna turn into 3 times, and that's, dude, I'm so patient now.
Yes.
Shit, man. That's if anything, that's what happens when you have 3 kids is you learn patience. Wow. Yeah. So I'm patient with my members. I'm patient with my kids. I'm patient with myself now that I'm, older.
Yeah.
These injuries that sometimes linger, or the lack of my recovery, how quick I can recover after, that workout fucking crushed me. I just got that, what do you call that?
Wow.
That machine that goes, ba-da-da-da-da.
Power dot? What is it?
No, it's...
the Theragun.
Yeah, the Theragun one.
Yeah, something like that.
And, dude, like, I have to have it on, like, the lowest setting, like, surface, because my biceps are so fucking sore right now. Anyways, so, the recovery on things is really tough. So I have to just be patient with that process. And that's, I think, if anything, going back to this, what we have up here in the front of the gym is this idea of, hey, you know what? Don't worry about the intensity. Intensity will come when you're ready.
Yeah, being patient.
Yep.
I was going to ask you, what's the biggest change for you personally over the years? How have you evolved as an athlete? And I kind of feel like maybe you just answered it. And would you say that is what it is the patience factor? I mean, like
for me, so ask that question again.
Yeah. So, I think like, I'm just curious. I know for myself, as a dad and as a parent and just working a lot and doing stuff on the side, for me, working out is still a part of my lifestyle, but now I do things that I'm like, hey, I got 10 minutes and I'm going to go out and do Tabata burpees, and that's going to be my 8-minute workout. Or
Yeah.
I got this thing called an X3 bar where it uses band resistance, and I'll just do 1 set to failure. I'll do 4 different movements. One day will be pushing, one day will be pulling. If I go pretty hard, I can be done in 10 minutes and get a solid pump. Am I going to be the fittest guy in the world? No. I know my limitations, but I know at least I'm keeping that lifestyle up. And I feel good. I feel good with the movement, but I know that's the biggest thing for me that's changed. I don't see myself being in the CrossFit gym for an hour like I used to, but I'm still practicing my form of movement. It's just time compressed. So I was curious for you, same thing, you know, like you said, I've been in the gym 7 days a week, and if you weren't, you're so and then I know the other thing for me, like getting older, is just recovery. So I was just curious, what's changed for you think the most? How do you, what's changed for you as far as, hey, like you said, I'm a dad with 3 kids. Like,
Yeah.
I own a CrossFit gym, but am I in here 7 days a week? I don't know. Are you?
Man, it's tough for me, dude, because you know you're in it and you're fit for this period of time in your life, and then you know you make bad decisions, which then leads you into getting fat. I mean, I'm not fat. I'm just like not
you look great,
fit.
by the
I'm
way.
just not as fit as I used to be.
Yes.
Right. And man, I love traveling. I love eating. I was just joking around with the class. I was like, you know what? You know when people binge drink? I don't binge drink. I don't like to drink. I binge Chinese eat. Like, that's what I do. Like I go to fucking.
If anybody follows your Instagram, that is a fact. Yes. You are always eating amazing food.
Yeah, you know.
Noodles,
And-
sushi, more noodles.
Yeah, more noodles.
Shabu shabu. Or whatever it's
Yeah,
called.
dude, we actually had that last night. Oh
See?
shit,
Yeah.
all you can eat. And so the what's changed is just really I don't really care about how I look anymore. That's, I think, the biggest difference. But then I kind of have these like moments where like I don't know, I think it was you that when you came, it's like, wow, you look a little skinnier, or like you're a little bit more young. I was like, dude, I just like you just don't see the white hair. I just got a haircut.
Yeah, it's the haircut.
But
It's the glasses.
Yeah, the glasses. Yeah, and so yeah, I don't really care about how I look, but then there's these sporadic times that I do, and it's just like kind of like this wave where like I'll work out 7 days and you know every day in that week, that one period of week, and then other weeks where I only work out like once or twice, and I'll just get on the bike for like an hour. That's it, and I just don't have the mental capacity. Having the gym, it's emotional. Having to deal with the business, it's emotional. Having to deal with the wife is emotional. The kids, emotional. So that shit takes a toll on me.
Yeah.
And that's I think one thing now that I realize is in the past I used to just be able to like fuck my emotions. Who the fuck cares?
Yes.
But now I've evolved into actually dealing with these emotions are extremely important to like leveling yourself up as a greater man, if you will.
Yeah.
Greater father, right? To be able to then teach my kids how to deal with issues, whatever, a breakup or an F, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's I think how things change is I'm a little bit more thorough in the process and patient in it as well.
Yeah. So cool, too. I just kind of hearing you talk about it's almost like having your kids has made you a bigger person. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
You have to evolve and be a bit, you don't have to, but it's a pretty good idea if you evolve and become a bigger person for them so
Yep.
that you can model and set the example.
Totally.
'Cause they need that.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
That's one thing that you know when I first started off, you wanted a model for the fitter person to be here, and that was for the looks, right? You work out so hard so you can look good, so that you can get clients. Like
And
that
put
was,
up good WOD times, I imagine, too, right?
Put up great WOD times, right? Yeah, like
This guy's legit.
nobody wants to hire a fat trainer, right?
Right.
And no son wants to be around a deadbeat father, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the same thing, right? You have to take care of yourself, and whatever those values are within that given timeline of your life, you kind of just highlight that a little bit and focus on that a little bit more. So unfortunately, if I have to take care of Alex, then then I don't work out, or I carve out something, or I just decide, hey, just today's not this week, this month may just not be the month for me to really work out that hard. Just fine.
Cool. I want to do some, I think we're getting a little long in the tooth, so I want to do some like kind of rapid fire questions.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
I come to you and I want to lose weight. What should I do?
Eat better.
That's it.
That's it.
Eat better.
Eat better.
Okay, I come to you and I want to get strong. What should I do?
Eat better.
Go back to eat better.
Eat better.
You're not going to tell me
Eat
5x5s or 3x3s.
Nope.
Back to eat better.
Eat better.
Amazing.
Because you can work out so hard and you can eat a fucking burger. Then guess what happens? You're just getting fat.
But we're talking about strength, though. That would still, I could be strong if I want. I want to get strong, not lose weight. I want to get strong. What's like the prescription? If you just like, you could be general too. Like,
train with me.
Perfect.
Train with me. You want to get strong because if you train with me.
Yeah, that makes sense because you can't just tell me 3x3s because like we said earlier, you come in here and you have
I don't know what your
poor
weaknesses
shoulder
are.
flexion or something. Then
I have no idea. I don't know what your weaknesses are.
Yeah.
So if I don't know what your weaknesses, I can't focus on those.
Cool. This defeats my next question was going to be, I want to have more endurance. What should I do? I think I know the answer. Come train with you.
Yeah.
Cool. What's your
run more, bike more?
Okay, good.
Or no, actually, if you want more endurance, change up your training modalities. If you do longer stuff, do shorter stuff, high intensity stuff.
So you wouldn't give like a blanket, do Tabata this or no? Okay.
Yeah. Because I don't know what they're doing, right? Are they trying to do a marathon? Are they trying to do a 100-meter sprint? Are they a rower?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite piece of equipment in the gym that you like?
Jump rope.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
When I first started, this is actually a really funny story. My brother is into Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu and all that stuff. And he was able to do these like really high skilled jumping rope exercises. And for the longest time, I couldn't do it. And so I got really good at jumping rope, and that got my endurance up. That got my agility up. That developed me into, I think, that was kind of like the catalyst to develop my endurance base. I don't want to say endurance base, but yeah, I'll just say endurance base.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't have to do double unders all the time. You can skip rope. You can move around. It's not scary. You can travel with it.
Yeah, that's true.
You can have a heavy rope. You can have a speed rope. So that's why I like the jump rope, because it's versatile to a lot of people.
If someone's starting off and they're listening to this, what should they do with the jump rope? 3 rounds of 2 minutes or any,
try to build up to 10 minutes of jumping rope.
Straight?
Just, yeah.
Listen
to your top
Rocky 4.
Yeah. Top 3-4 songs.
Yeah.
That fucking just keep you going.
Yeah.
And if you can do 10 minutes without stopping jumping rope, it's fucking badass. Try it.
I have, and that's a good point. I have tried doing like 10 minutes, and I usually something happens. I'll clunk something, and it's more challenging than you think, for sure.
Yeah, totally.
Also on that note, and you mentioned, what I want to ask, is there a brand of rope that you like? Because I've gone through lots of different jump ropes, and they're all like different. I don't know. I like Rogue for certain reasons, then I like other brands.
My favorite jump rope was this jump rope that I bought at Sports Basement for like $4.95.
See? Yeah.
It's like this hard plastic jump rope. I mean, I was able to do double unders, but it doesn't last so much with double unders. But for single jump ropes, it was my favorite jump rope. It's perfect weight. It's not too light. It's not wiry. So if you try to like cross over, it comes loose.
Stick.
Yeah, it comes loose immediately if you try to cross over. But yeah, I don't even know the name of that jump rope. It's like, whatever
Everlast
one of those
or
famous brands are. It's just a generic brand.
Okay. any special diet? Back in the day, paleo was the big issue for CrossFit.
Man.
Are you doing keto? Now you hear carnivore. Any diets you've experimented with that you had a lot of success with?
Don't fucking binge eat. That's the hardest thing for people to do. Like even for myself, like.
But you're not following anything as far as like it has to be.
I do macros Monday through Friday, and then.
What does that mean for people? What is macros?
Macros basically you get protein, carbs, and fat, and you're just allotted X amount of grams for each one of those sections. You just track it on a fitness app or a calorie app. MyFitnessPal.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's really cool because if you want to have some chips, you can just scan the code,
Nice.
the CRV code, and then is it CRV code? Yeah, I think it's called
Something
the CRV
like that,
code. And then literally just pops up and generates their nutritional stuff, and you can say, hey, I had 14 chips or had one serving or whatever it is. Boom, and it just automatically gets bumped into this macros, and that way you can see what you've eaten, what more you're allotted throughout the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like people going on diets. I think just people need to just be more aware. Here it is. And this is like the biggest thing right now, right? Being vegan. Like that's
especially after that movie came out, Game Changers. Right?
Yeah. And I saw that movie literally that night. I cooked a steak, and I was like, the Game Changers, right?
In honor of the movie, I'll be eating this steak.
You know, I fucking love steak, but you know what? I had a salad with it. All right, I had what else? I had some beets, some lentils. Right, like people make fun of me if
balanced,
yeah. Just eat more vegetables. Don't overconsume meat. Don't overconsume chips. Don't binge eat Chinese. You know, for the general person, just move and eat well.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. Favorite mobility tool?
Favorite mobility tool? I don't have a favorite mobility tool.
What about that Theragun that you're using?
I just got it.
Okay, so you're still experimenting with that. But would you say in general for everybody, if they just have like a lacrosse ball, like that's probably good enough?
God, like I don't even use a lacrosse ball. I just use the corner of my couch.
Okay, so get on the corner of your couch and use that.
Yeah, like
everybody has a corner of a couch, most likely.
Yeah, I have this like reclining chair. I get like my lower back on it.
You really
I have like
my friend.
15 foam rollers here, but I don't have a favorite mobility tool.
Okay.
I think if anything, people should have a band.
Oh, okay.
Because bands can be used for banded exercises, resistance training. They can use it for stretching out a little bit.
Yeah.
I would say a band would probably be my go-to answer for that.
Yeah. You could travel with that and stuff like that.
You could travel with it too.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yep.
Couple more questions. Again, you've been in the game for a long time. Anybody that inspires you or that you follow in the fitness health world?
Man, in fitness, that's tough. I would still say Greg Glassman because
I wasn't expecting you to say that. That's cool.
Yeah. And the thing about it is he's kind of a weird dude.
And Greg Glassman, for those that's the founder of CrossFit.
That's the founder of CrossFit. Yeah, he's a weird dude, but. Dude, he still has me loving this shit, right? And I started fucking geeking out on CrossFit from the beginning, and I still geek out on it. I just have a different approach on how I sell it.
Yeah.
And there are so many CrossFits out there, so he's changing the world.
Yeah.
And people, I just don't think people give him enough credit for what he's done. Haters are gonna hate. And that's fine. Let them hate.
Yeah.
Look how many people's lives changed from CrossFit. That's how we met.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
true.
Greg Glassman, he sold that shit.
Yeah.
So is he fit? No.
Yeah.
Is he? I'm not. I'm much respect to him.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
This is probably my last question. Favorite, if you had one, 2, 3 books, what would be your top 1 or top 1 to 3 books that you'd recommend people?
I don't really read books.
Audiobooks.
I don't really
Nothing.
read books. You know, I listen to podcasts. I do a lot of I look at a lot of like Instagram stuff, which is terrible, and I kind of just like I like do that. I don't want to say like as research.
That's
but
your way of learning, though. That's the way you're acquiring information.
Yeah. I was never a book guy, which is it's so hard for me to publicly say that. But if I do read a book, I only get through like halfway of the book.
Yeah.
And then it seems like I kind of get in this like repetitive learning stage, and I'm like, I just need something new. That's maybe why I like CrossFit so much. But one person that I would say that I actually listen to quite often in on like podcasts would be that guy Andy Frisella.
I never heard of him.
He's his podcast I think is called the MF CEO, and he talks a lot about values and the way you should run your business, way you should run your life. I mean, he talks a lot about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But more so, it says, how can you be the MFCEO of your own life?
The
right?
MFC meaning
Like motherfucking CEO.
motherfucking CEO. I knew MF. I just
Yeah,
didn't know. Okay.
motherfucking CEO.
Yeah.
And it's just like taking ownership of literally everything.
That's very cool.
There's all these books that can teach you the mindsets and the habits that you should build. But, you know, sometimes people like me that just need to be like told, don't make excuses. There's all these guidelines out there.
Yeah.
How come you're not following any of these guidelines? You read all these books that I've read in the past.
Yep.
But I don't follow
But go
it.
do
Why
it.
am I not
Execute.
following it? Why am I not executing?
Yeah.
Right? Just fucking do it.
Yeah.
And so that's probably one of the guys that I probably listen to the most while walking my dog.
That's cool.
Yeah. You should definitely start listening.
Yeah, I am. Because I want to be a motherfucking CEO.
Yeah.
And then any rituals, or I'm a big guy on like certain rituals or habits or hacks that I do daily. So I always tell people, like, some people do like gratitude journaling in the morning to prime their mindset. Is there anything you do like on a daily basis, you know, kind of that you think everyone should be doing, and you're almost surprised, like, wow, I'm surprised people don't do this more. Like, this is such a game changer for me.
Oh, man, you know what? Yeah, I do. I make sure that I show my family my love. That's like the number one thing. So I make sure if they're sleeping already, I make sure I give everybody a kiss goodnight. Every morning, I make sure I always say good morning, give them a kiss good morning. That's it. It's too much shit in this world, you know. At the end of the day, I just got my family. You know, if my family's healthy, if there's love, you know, everything's gonna be good.
Dude, that is amazing. And let's end on that. Angel Orozco,
Cool.
Telegraph CrossFit, freaking amazing. Last but not least, where can people find you? Maybe you don't want people to find you, but
Yeah, you can. We're at Telegraph Crossfit on IG, or it's telegraphcrossfit.com on the website.
Awesome.
Yep.
My man.
Cool, dude.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning into the show. It absolutely means the world to me, and I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity. If any of this resonates with you, feel free to go to iTunes and leave me a 5-star review. There you can follow me, or you can follow me on Spotify. And if you're interested in life coaching or health coaching, you can find me at joelevancoaching.com. And I'd love to connect with you there. Thanks, and continue to be amazing.